Oh, hey everybody. What's going on, man? So we did a thing this week. Some of you might dig the thing we did. You'll have to let us know. We're going to talk about that in just a minute, and maybe it's cool, maybe you think it's stupid. I don't know. What do you think? Oh, wait, you don't know what it is. We'll be right back.
Paying too much for trucking insurance? What if you could save more by making one simple phone call and keep more profit? You could very well do just that with one simple call to Seabright Agency, 800-366-6466. Call now.
Now here's a question that all owner-operators and small fleet owners should consider. What happens when you access the unrivaled advantages that are available through the ES Advantage program? We asked Jeff and Charlie from Contractors Corner to share their thoughts on how they've been able to utilize the discounts and services that are a part of the ES Advantage.
Your business will make you money if you do well at that business. And ES Advantage in trucking, they do really well at providing those services. So the effect that ES has had on our personal trucking operations, not even talking about what we do on the consulting arena, I've been able to save thousands of dollars a year in fuel because of the relationship with them. I have a new accountant that I work with, trucker CFO, that I learned about from ES Advantage.
They're giving you that 10,000 yard kind of support from behind that creates a way for you to succeed, which is one of the things that we love, because anything you can do to help someone succeed is going to help them succeed. They make money by making sure you make money.
Now, if you're an owner-operator or small fleet owner and you would like to learn more about how you can drive savings to the bottom line of your business, the ES Advantage program has the discounts and services that deliver the kind of unrivaled advantages that are designed to help you improve your overall operation. Get connected with the ES Advantage today.
Well, hey everybody, what's going on? Hope everybody's doing well. I'm gonna make Jeff. Pow! There's the Jeffrey.
Contractors Corner was number one today.
Woo!
I don't think we count though.
Oh,
James Vaughn.
it was James Vaughn. No, it was not.
He's the first one I see on there.
Nope. Watch this. It was actually Chris Hamilton. Oh, see, I don't have it on my screen anymore, but it was Chris Hamilton who was first.
Okay.
But because I had to reboot in the middle of all this, I lost the chat from the earlier thing. Yeah, that sucks. I only have chat from when it started up again. Anyhow, it was James. It was Chris Hamilton was first, and then James. Just saying. What's up, everybody? Even Wimpy McPote was up in here. And we were talking earlier. We were having some pretty good conversations earlier today. It's funny, we build this show, we put the announce out, and then everybody fights to be first, which is fun to watch. We enjoy it. It's just a fun little goofy thing, right? And to see who's gonna see that. Poof, they're up. Let's go.
I mean, when we think about it, we give the guy a trophy virtually in the chat.
Oh, absolutely, right. Because if we're okay, so I don't know how to do that, but other people do it, so that's cool. Definitely Chris Hamilton, Wimpy McPote was all up in this place. Apparently Michelle Cantrell is in Phoenix right now.
What?
Yeah, that's what Chris was telling me.
I wish I was going to Phoenix now.
Answering your question earlier, Chris, that nobody will understand. Yes, and thank you. Let's see. Wimpy McPote was here. Chris Hamilton, I said. Josh McLean was all up in this place. Craig Hutchinson. Okay, so this is a funny one. I'll share this from pre-show stuff. Wimpy said that we would get more views if we had prettier hosts, Jeff. And I said, well, I could put on some lipstick and put my pretty red panties on.
Well, if you put a lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig, dude.
Bro.
Oh, I mean,
what? And then he said, how about some wet t-shirts? And I said, well, if you think it's going to help, I'd absolutely put on a wet t-shirt. And then he said something about I should put a broke open lithium battery on my wet t-shirt because that would make it better. And I was like, man, that sounds great. I don't even understand what that's going to do. I mean, because the shirt's not electrified. I don't know how to make it work with.
So if people watch a couple of weeks ago, the first time I had to do the show with my phone and I was fiddling around with stuff and my shirt went way up, I think we lost every single listener after that.
Yeah, it's just
So it won't work.
cricket.
My wife says I'm,
hey, look, I think you're dead sexy, bro. People say I'm crazy though. I'm just saying.
baby back ribs.
Chili's baby back ribs. Chili's. That's trademark stuff. Oh, we're advertising. Screw them. They'll like it. Barbecue sauce. Yeah, but then it got weird because then I think somebody said that lithium batteries and a wet t-shirt would cause an explosion. So I think Wimpy was trying to kill me today.
So Matt, I'm going to vocalize this because my wife is listening. Just so you know, Matt Nissen. Oh, wrong guy. Never mind. CW. That's who it was. CW. Donna is listening. And I'm going to say what you said. To go with Wimpy, you need good-looking bikini-clad ladies.
Oh,
Charlie, can you feel that? Can you feel the look? Can you feel the daggers?
look. Are we counting like Thailand lady men? Because I've been told I look pretty attractive when I dress up and shave my legs. I'm just saying. I mean, whatever it's going to take to get the viewership going, I'm there, guys. I'm here for you.
James Vaughn, absolutely. All our wives thinks we're sexy men, and thank goodness for that.
I don't think Donna thinks I'm a sexy man.
Rosie does, though. I'm sure.
Well, yeah, Rosie does, but James said all our wives think we're all sexy. I don't think that's a true statement.
You're playing the English game. Okay.
Oh, my bad. My bad.
Isn't that my role?
What is wrong with me? Anyhow, Hamey was in here.
Charlie took my job.
You're right. He's probably not here now because he checks in before and then goes and does stuff and he catches us on the replay. He's one of our hardcore replay warriors. Blows up the comments and I love it. Jim Wall was here.
Hey, Jim.
Mike Anderson was here. So he said in that statement right there, he said, I just found the email. That was the email that was sent out by ES today about the rate changes for funding your car. The ACH went up to 1%. The credit debit went up to 4.5%. I guess they got some extra costs that they need to cover. So that's a thing. They did say, however, that with the new stuff, that credit debit funding would only take 30 minutes now from when you hit send. I don't believe that has.
Okay.
So, I mean, because it specifically said credit debit. ACH time is still going to take time because that's, a bank transfer and all that kind of stuff. And there were some questions earlier about that. So I thought I should touch on that real quick.
And I'll just put in there, guys, that so when you see stuff like that the fee went up on something like that, and I've said it before, I feel sorry for people like Jeff Reese that have to talk to customers about this. They don't have control over that. And something like this, it's been a while since we've talked about how the ES thing works. ES Success in Trucking is not actually making money off of that card.
Right.
It's kind of, they have all sorts of programs, truck leasing, and they help people get contracts, all sorts of stuff that they do make money on. The fuel card is not one of them. So when something goes up like that, it's absolutely because the banking system said that their fees went up.
Right.
So, I'm not saying don't call and complain if that's what you want to do, but just realize who to actually blame for all of this.
Hey, I just got smart. I changed the direction of my microphone here because I'm always having it pointed this way and I feel like I'm talking away from it. Does that actually make a difference? Can anyone hear a difference? If you can hear a difference, let me know. Give me a thumbs up or something right now. I'm just curious. Jeff said I'm an idiot, and that's fair. I mean, it's just
But if it's better on your neck, it's better on your neck.
I
How's
think
that?
it's probably because I don't want to. I keep wanting to follow the mic, right? Because it's that brain thing I got. So okay, so let me finish going through these chat real quick. Donna was here. Donna's here. Trucker Dan. Hey, Trucker Dan. What's up, buddy? Oh man, I like that guy. CW is all in here. He said, "Did Charlie break the website again?" I did temporarily, but I fixed it. And wait, there was something. Bitcoin John put out a public service announcement and did a his good deed for the day is what he said. And I'm going to put his comment up. In 73 days, Bitcoin halving will take place. This happens every 4 years. Google BTC halving. You will see this always drives the price. I just did my good deed for the day. So thank you, Bitcoin John, for sharing the Bitcoin information for 73 days from now. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. And look, yeah, I'm not going to talk about that part of it right now. I have a thing that I want to do, but I haven't done it yet. I was on phone with tech support earlier. That was fun. Apparently, it was my computer causing all my problems. It wasn't even in their end. That feels dumb. I can't put that comment up because of a word that's in that comment. Another comment from Bitcoin, because that word is one of the words that can't be used apparently in the world. Whatever. I'm going to move right along. Donna said, "Hey, y'all. CW Timothy Ransom. What's going on, man? Good to see you, Tim. Jonah Green. Nice to see you. Life on 18 Wheels. D. Thompson Enterprises LLC. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Glad to see you. John C's all up in this place. Who else? Dennis Lewis. Good to see you. Glad you still put air in your lungs every day. I can say that about every one of you here. Thank you. Craig Hutchinson's in Pittsburgh, Indiana, right at the moment. Chris D with a big wavy hand. I appreciate that. There's been a lot going on in the chat. I will try and get to some of it. Maybe Jeff will scroll back through some of it for me. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe he'll start some.
I'm dealing with tech support myself on some stuff.
That's great. Is that the CFO type tech support?
No.
Oh.
Our new website.
Oh, gotcha. So, how's this? Watch. I'm gonna do a thing. I have a new link to share with people. Let me pull it up. Before I talk about it, I'm going to post a link in the chat. Thank you, Matt. He said, hit the like and follow Slackers. So in the chat, I just posted that little link right there. So we were given access to some trucks at reasonable prices from a place that we actually have some faith in. Don't know why. We
fell into it.
Yeah. And yeah. So if you go to that website, and right now there are only 3 trucks listed there. There's 2 680s and a Cascadia that are up. I have some more, but that's the tech support stuff I was working on, like the website builder stuff that I use. Would not let me back in. I couldn't get the rest of it updated. We have 2 more trucks to add to that list, so we'll have a list of 5 trucks up there. They range from 45 to 60,000. They're 2018, 2019 KW Cascadia 680s, Cascadias, and there's a Pete in our list. It's just not up on the site yet. But there is a 579 that's up there as well. I believe that one's 60 grand. It's actually got pretty low miles if I think about it. I believe it's a 2019, but I'm not sure. Anyhow, so check this out. Jeff and I are not selling these trucks. We are advertising these trucks for an individual that's handling these trucks. There's a weird thing behind all this. So we're just going to tell you that if you go to that website right there, that page, contractorscorner.cc/available trucks, you'll see the trucks that are on there. And it will tell you exactly if you're interested in any of those trucks, you want to get some information. There's a phone number right there at the top of the page, and there'll be a stock number with each truck. And as we get more trucks available to us, we will put them up there. And yes, if someone buys one of these trucks from that website and speaks to those folks that want to take the call on the truck, Jeff and I are going to get paid an advertising fee for that. So thank you if anyone decides to buy a truck. But just understand that yes, we are being paid for advertising on this deal in the form of advertising dollars in the event trucks sell. So there you go. It does not sway our opinion, the fact that we will make money off of these at some point if they sell. If we were getting $0, we would actually still recommend these trucks from this individual. Look, I don't recommend a T680 or a 579. I recommend Cascadias for people. But people want 680s and people want 579s. So fine, they can do that. Do your thing. We will make it's coming from a company that we have faith in. We know that these trucks were very well maintained. Some of them have brand new tires, new leather seats, and that kind of thing. Seem to be right now ranging from 2018, 2019 is what we have available. Like I said, we're going to have 5 on the site, hopefully by tonight, tomorrow. There's 2 more that they're working on. They're, kind of reconditioning them, putting them back into the pretty state. Maybe they need new seats or new tires or something. I just know that they're not quite ready yet, but there you go. And they're all around that 400,000 mile mark, maybe high 4s, low 3s, something like that. I don't have a ton of information. I know what I could do. Watch this. I'll share a screen, Jeff. That could be fun. Share screen. Share screen. Available trucks. Share screen. And put it up on the stage. There you go. That's kind of what that looks like right there. So trucks available to our Road Warrior entrepreneurs. These trucks are for sale that were made available to us. It says to share with our Road Warrior entrepreneur community. These trucks are Road Warrior ready and ready to go to work. We will update these trucks as often as we get access to more. Check back for new listings. To get additional info, please reach out to Tony, 952-367-6726 with the stock number. So right here on the site, you'll see the stock number first, 16305. That's 2018 KW680 for $55,000. You can read the descriptions on that. So there's only 3 on there right now, like I said, because that's all I had time to get up before the show. It's a lot of weird work putting all these photos in. And if you click on the big picture, it'll take you to a gallery page that shows you more pictures of that truck. And it didn't go on the screen. You want to know why? Because I'm a big dummy. Hang on. It's not sharing the new tab. So let me remove that one. Good God.
We've been having tech issues all day, man.
Anyhow, when you click on the big picture for that truck, it will open a new tab and it will take you to the screen for that truck, the gallery for that truck. There you go. And so it'll show you more of the pictures. And yeah, from what we understand, all of these trucks are going to come with either a Thermo King APU or a Carrier APU. Some of them have brand new tires and drums on them. They're all very well maintained. So, I mean, it's a thing. Like I said, we're not going to...
The fleet that owned them before and are selling them, their maintenance schedules are typically the 25,000 mile intervals, and they're anal about it. So the trucks are also very well maintained, which is why we felt comfortable saying, yeah, we can let our people know about this.
Yeah, some of these even still have the OEM warranty on them. And, like one of them I know for sure ends, the warranty's like in August of this year will end, but it has the option to have the extended warranty put in, which is cool. So, just an option. It's something that's there. It's available to you anyhow. So check it out. Go to contractorscorner.cc/available trucks for available trucks, or you could just go to contractorscorner.cc, hit the menu and look for the little button that says available trucks, and you'll be able to check it out. And if there's something there you like, great. If not, hey, that's cool too, man. Jeff and I are not selling trucks, so don't get mad at me for, don't get mad at that guy either. Because,
well, this is the perfect opportunity, Charlie, to talk about we're rebranding now from Contractors Corner to the Road Warrior Entrepreneur. Our first course is up and live in the paid community, which is actually titled The Entrepreneur Mindset.
Yep.
Thought we would do that for January, since everybody is talking about their New Year's resolutions that by and large they've already stopped doing by now. But yeah, you are an entrepreneur that chose truck driving as your main vehicle to make money. But man, looking for all these opportunities.
Right.
The one thing that I'm really comfortable saying, and I'm kind of proud of, Charlie, actually, is that you and I, make no mistake, Charlie and I didn't start out this way, but through this journey of building this community, I really think we've become closer to true entrepreneurs over the last 2 years.
I agree.
We're building relationships. We're looking for different avenues of revenue.
Seizing opportunities as they arise and keeping
Right.
ourselves in a position to be able to do that.
We just recorded another podcast with Charlie. Help me out. because
Brian
you know the
Jess.
names. Brian Jess.
Jeff,
Man, that guy's gonna hate me.
fun. Oh my god.
Brian, no offense, I just do not remember names. I have like this block. But that podcast, which
It's okay,
we
Mr.
just
Biden.
recorded
That's why you
today,
have a handler.
right? Yeah.
I'm gonna get kicked for that one.
That particular podcast will come out. My best guess is in about a month
Yeah, probably because it's going to be number 4 in our
in our
episode
catalog.
list. Yeah.
But we talked to him specifically because this is a dude that really planned out his future. He has a vision for what he wants to do. I mean, before he even came to Swift, before he even decided to lease a truck, he was talking to his accountant ahead of time to see if it was for him. This is a man that he started with Swift actually all the way back in 2021, decided OTR was absolutely not for him,
Right.
and had this journey that led him back to Swift as a company driver and then into being a contractor. And what we discussed with him, and I don't want to make it so you don't listen to the podcast, but he's got this plan. And we talked about, does he pay off his lease truck at $82,000, right? Or does he buy that white Cascadia that we found
Right.
for 50? You got to look at all that.
And the ins and outs and ups and downs of doing all of these things. And we discussed some numbers and ways to look at things and all that kind of stuff. So I think it's going to be a good podcast. I think most of you will enjoy it. I think it's going to be a good episode. Again, it's going to be a few weeks before that one ever comes out. We do have 3 that we recorded with Colton that we feel like we want to get out first because I think they're more timely and it's just some really solid information. And we're going to be branching into a new group of people with the podcast because of where it's being hosted. It's being hosted out on Pod Wheels, powered by Radio Nemo, which is kind of neat for us. You'll be able to find it on most of the large podcast host type places, but our main host will be at Pod Wheels. And so that's going to be pretty exciting for us. And so, yeah, I mean, we would encourage you definitely once that drops, should be dropping fairly soon. Jeff and I have a little bit of work we got to do on episode 2 and 3, but other than that, I mean, we have 4 solid episodes ready to go, and we have probably 15 in our pocket ready to work on and get done. So yeah, it's kind of a cool deal. It's been exciting to do, and it's just adding more work to what it is we're doing now. So it's just a more of a time management thing for us. So then when like this truck sale thing popped up, right? We're like, well, yes, this could help us achieve what it is we're trying to achieve.
Like literally Saturday afternoon.
Yeah. and this morning I was jumping out of my backside. We had a meeting. Was it last night or today? I can't remember.
Last night.
And we had a meeting about this, and we're like, okay, we can talk about this. We can put it out. Yep. And so then I'm jumping out of my butt, and then the website crashed on me, and I couldn't do anything, and that kind of sucked. But whatever. So I got 3 of the 5 listed. I'll get the other 2 done as soon as possible. So just check back on the site if there's any interest. Great, man.
Yeah, and another thing about this, I want people to know is there's a reason that there's only 5 right now.
Right.
I mean, these are trucks that, um, are we gonna get in trouble with Papa Swift? I don't know. Did I
I
say that out loud?
It'll never
I
happen.
Whatever.
They don't care
Um,
about us.
they don't listen to us. If you're at end of lease, especially, you know, and you're thinking, gosh, that if you're like Charlie and you have a buyout that's $20,000 more than Jeff's buyout,
Right.
right? Because of when he picked up the truck. Look at the used truck market. We've got 5 right now that we're comfortable saying, yeah, this would absolutely do. These trucks are absolutely solid.
How about I owe $178,000 on my truck, and the market value as of right now, identical miles, is $137,000. That's a $40,000 deficit.
Right.
Just saying. If I wanted to pay off
So,
my truck right now, it's 178, or I
so
could go buy one for 137.
you know, if you're at any mega carrier and you're on a lease purchase option, right, and your buyout is huge. I know that there's some out there that are really good on the buyout,
Yeah,
like $1 at some of them for the buyout just for legal reasons.
right.
But I
Those
think
typically
everybody
have
has
higher payments throughout the term of the
right,
lease, and, I mean, you're paying mostly the same money all the way through it one way or another.
right,
Let's just be real. But if you're like, Jeff and I on one of these high dollar, final payment, balloon payment, whatever you want to call it, buyout programs, then right now with the market being what it is, it might be worth looking at these other trucks.
right.
And if you can find them that are from reputable carriers, and I don't know why, but we can't say what carrier these came from right now. Um, it's a weird thing. Anyhow, I can say that Jeff and I have absolute faith in these people.
Mhm.
Maybe you can figure it out, but we have a high degree of faith in where these trucks are coming from.
Yeah. Um, and this part has nothing to do with us, but there is financing available.
Right?
Um,
That should be workable.
it should be workable. Um, it's at a private bank, and basically the guy that brought this to us knows the owner of the bank. So
Right?
you
And
know,
wants to work with our road warrior entrepreneurs. I mean, how awesome is that? So okay, wait. Oh, we got another thing we got to announce too for people that aren't Swift guys. Should we do
yep.
that now, or should we just finish what we're doing
Well, I
first?
want to point out first that as our audience grows, you know, there could be some people in here that aren't Swifties at this point.
Right.
Anything that we talk about on the shows, whether it's the trucks, that's our newest thing, the insurance, the fuel card, any of that stuff, this is not Swift specific stuff. You know,
So that's the
the
perfect segue, because our insurance up until just recently has been for Swift people. Our seriously discounted rate has been strictly for Swift people. What Jeff just said was, if you missed it, is our insurance is now available to you guys who are not Swift people. If you're out there and you have your own truck and you're paying for your insurance, we probably have a deal for you. And I would
yes,
recommend reaching out to Seabright and letting them know that, hey, I'm not a Swift contractor, but I am a Contractors Corner listener, watcher, viewer. I'm a road warrior entrepreneur, and I'd like to get an insurance quote. And they're going to have a rate for you. And for the Swift guys, I can only speak to this part of it right now. Our insurance package did renew today,
yep,
and we renewed at a flat rate, no increase, no decrease. Keep in mind that most insurance rates went up this year for most people in the industry.
right,
We stayed flat. So I want to thank everyone that's on our insurance. Thank you for not being donkeys.
yep,
Seriously, because you guys helped keep our rate at the same rate, which is an extremely amazing rate that we have.
right,
So thank you guys. But yeah, so the insurance is now available to any one of our watchers, viewers, listeners, what have you. All you got to do is reach out to Seabright Agency and let them know that, hey, I'm a Road Warrior entrepreneur. I'm a Contractors Corner viewer, and I'd like to get an insurance quote. And they will be able to work you up a good price. And they have offerings that other people don't have that are built to protect you in better ways. We will in the future be having discussions a little bit deeper into what each of those policies are. But in the meantime, if you give them a call, 1-800-366-6466. Right now, they're probably closed because they close up shop around 5 p.m. in the evening. So there's no ladies there to answer your calls. But you could call, leave a voicemail, and get them to call you back tomorrow. Or you could call tomorrow during normal business hours. They are in Minnesota, so they're an hour behind the East Coast. So I don't know what time they open because I'm a terrible person. But that number, 1-800-366-6466, and let them know you heard about it here and you'd like to get a quote. So this is what I'm going to say. If you are one of those guys that out there that is on your another contract, whether you're leased to another major carrier, you got your own numbers, what have you, even you guys with your own numbers, you might be able to find a deal here. He can take care of every part of your trucking insurance needs. Just let them know exactly what you need, and they will put something together for you and get you a rate. And hey, do us a favor. When you get your quote, let us know how it compared to what you currently have. If it's higher, if it's lower, if it's the same. I want to know how it compares.
How
I
they're
think that would
stacking
be,
up.
yeah, so
And
definitely give us feedback.
and a little education here, guys. Just because you have a lower quote doesn't mean that its insurance will actually cover you if something happens. So make sure you're getting the right coverage.
Right.
Um, that's a whole discussion in and of itself. And it took Charlie and I probably 6 months to understand that part ourselves. And that was with being tutored by an insurance guy.
Right. I like
So
Wimpy's question. How does hitting a train influence rates? I'm going to go out on a limb and say that would probably hurt a small group's rates. I'm
Yep.
going to say don't hit a train because that's good. And Bitcoin John said, how does one become a donkey? Well,
No, I know this one.
go ahead.
First, you have to have a YouTube show.
Aha! Yes. This is true. Because we are the donkeys. The other name for donkeys is what I want to say, but it's funny. Yeah. I don't know. I think you can use it in conjunction with the first part, but I don't know because there's a weird thing. I don't know. It's a whole thing. And Chris Hamilton, thank you. Look. All right. Shout out to everybody. It really helps us guys just starting out. He's commenting on keeping our rate flat, guys. So thank you. And Donna now has sound on, so that's fabulous. Good to know. Or maybe I should mind what I say from here out. I'm just kidding. I haven't said anything wrong today yet. I mean, that is key. Hey, Kenneth Bear Hayslip. How's it going, everybody? Finally stopped for the day. Good to see you, Ken. Glad you're here. Matt asked, is the insurance for a power unit only? If you're someone out there that has a trailer, has your own authority, you need cargo insurance, Seabright is going to be able to work up a deal for you. Like, seriously, I'm telling you, Tony has really been working really hard on this, building these packages. And what we are saying is that if you are someone that has to pay for trucking insurance, chances are we've got a program ready to go for you.
Yep.
For all aspects of the trucking insurance world.
And
yeah,
I think we could talk a little bit, even though it's kind of premature, about how Tony is going to be able to keep those rates so low compared to the market. And there will be several tiers. Like there will be the guys that have been driving since Noah and never had an accident type guys. There'll be the normal guys. And then there'll be the guys where it'll be kind of like, well, we can get you insurance, but you might want to shop around because you've hit a lot of stuff in the last 2 days type guys. So there is that reality. They are different groups. And we have come up with a safety program for Seabright customers. So there will be a quarterly video that to keep your rate. Now you're going to need to watch and click the button that you watched and understood the safety videos that we put out every quarter. And that will go into your driver's file. And Tony will be able to grab that. And when he is negotiating rates with the actual insurance carriers, he can say, look, all of these guys, man, they're running their businesses. They're true entrepreneurs. They have a safety program that they're part of that's independent from their carrier. They're taking care of business. And that will allow him to negotiate lower rates.
David Dunn said, dump truck insurance? I think so, sir. Give him a call, man. Like seriously, like I'm telling you, there's a lot of work.
Let me
that
tell you
has
something.
gone into this.
Let me tell you something real quick about Tony Dennis. Okay. You want to talk about an entrepreneur? Tony Dennis is like, he's a true entrepreneur. If he doesn't have dump truck insurance now, he will next week if you ask him about it.
Right?
I mean, literally. The only reason it took so long for us to get a policy written for the Swift drivers was because we had to be in compliance with Swift's contract with us. And so there's specific things that we had to do, certain hoops we had to jump through in that policy when it was being written up. So I would say, yeah. I mean, the other thing too is that he used to own a fleet of trucks himself. The dude is actually a
Technically, he
farmer.
still does. It hasn't finalized.
Yeah, the dude's like more of a hobby now, I think, because he's gotten into other businesses over the years. But he grew up a farmer.
No, farming is the main deal.
Is it still his main deal?
Yeah, farming is it. The truck farming part of it, the farming truck part of it was just a natural progression. You know, why are you paying someone else to move your products, right? So that just became a thing, him and his partner. And no, he is absolutely a farmer. Make no mistake. He works commercially in farming. On top of everything else, this man works some of the most ridiculous hours. Like he starts his day at like 5 in the morning, 4 in the morning, something like that, and works up until 11 p.m. every night. He shuts his phone off at 11 o'clock at night and then goes to bed. And then he starts his next day around 4 or 5 and starts on one job and then this job and then this business and then that business. The dude is on fire. I don't know how he does it. He's like 1,000 years old. I'm just kidding, Tony. But I mean, I'm telling you, this guy has the most ridiculous energy that I don't even know how to deal. Kenneth, I'm going to come back to your question. I see it. I actually would like to talk about that. I'm going to come back to that. So don't think that I'm ignoring you. I have it starred on my end, so I know to come back and look at it. Chris Hamilton, Jeff said, Jeff, I will be starting your ES card funding plan this week. So there you go. That's a cool thing. And Victor Jackson, you may be drinking because I am not young enough to be your grandchild, but okay. I mean, that's what I know nietos to mean is grandchildren. I don't know, man. I don't know what you're saying, bro. And then this one, you're calling me what? You're saying I'm fair skinned, light haired, bro. I don't have much hair, but it's dark. And whatever, bro. ¿Cómo estás, carnal? That's what I have to say. Anyhow, good to see you, Victor Jackson. I'm glad you're here, brother. You know what? I'm going to go to Ken right now. Actually, let's do that. So there was a discussion in the Facebook this week, last couple of days. And so Ken was trying to change a set of shocks on his truck in one of the yards at a Swift yard. And they came out and told him, you can't do that. And then kind of backtracked. It's frowned upon. And I'm like, dude, look, Ken, can you tell me how did they know you were about to change your shocks for starters? That's where I want to start with this. So do me a favor. I know you're about 20 or 30 seconds behind me and actually hearing what I'm saying right now. But type in your answer. How did they even know that you were about to change your shocks? And I'm going to come back to that. Michael Fowler, with ES card, I get fuel cheaper than the terminal. That's mostly
most of the time.
Most of the time, but always check because sometimes those terminals will get a whopper of a deal on fuel, and I will absolutely use that.
There was a There was a while there when the Richmond, Virginia terminal was
Oh
just
my
this
God.
insanely low price.
Right?
And those of you guys that have been there, it's a trek off the interstate to even get to that terminal. It's kind of a pain in the butt, but we're talking like 25 cents a gallon less than ES on that lane.
Yeah, it was totally worth it.
There was a time there where it was like, yeah, you better stop there. I don't care if you're only getting 30 gallons. Get your 30
Right?
gallons and
Yeah.
get topped off.
Oh man. So yeah. So all right, we've talked about the insurance, talked about trucks offered. Now we're depending on you guys. So what is it you guys want to talk about? I'm hoping Ken's gonna answer me on how they even knew that they were about to change his shocks. I'm not sure how far behind he is in the audio on this, but I'm sure he'll get back to us on that. So we'll come back to that.
I think Donna said it could be up to 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's weird sometimes. There's a weird delay between what Jeff and I right now hear with each other versus what you guys get on the YouTubes because we're using a recording platform that then sends it to YouTube and then it comes out. All right, so he's got an answer. He said he was at the terminal a couple weeks ago and overheard a conversation from the shop. People that they kicked Noah out for doing work on his truck. Oh, that's weird, bro.
So here's what I would, because I'm that guy, Ken. I would start doing the work and say, well, when I get my truck put back together and roadworthy again, I'll be out the gate. How's that?
Right? I mean, what that look.
Where my shocks are off. What am I supposed to do?
This is okay. This is one of those things that maybe isn't great advice, but I can tell you how my experience has been. I'm not speaking for anybody else here, just this guy. All right. I'm just gonna do what I'm gonna do. And I'll say, hey, my bad. I'm sorry afterwards. And then I'm gonna go do what I gotta do. And you know what? I say, Jeff and I actually had this conversation earlier. If you're in the middle of changing shocks, I'm saying you're in the middle of your pre-trip, bro. And that is the damn fine pre-trip, if you ask me, because I realized I needed shocks, so I'm replacing the shocks right here in the middle of my pre-trip. Thank you.
Yeah, they'll let you do a light, right?
Right? So Jeff, you remember how I was having problems with that massive air block that comes out of the firewall? And I told you when I first got the truck, I had an air leak coming out of a little flapper valve on the front.
Yeah.
I taken it to the shop. I don't know how many times. Hey guys, I got an air leak. And every time I take it in, the damn thing doesn't leak. There's no audible leak. Guess what happened today? I got a phone call while we were doing our podcast recording today. And one of the voicemails that was left was the Ocala shop saying, hey man, you've got a pretty serious air leak in that big junction blocky thing. I don't know that. Yeah. And I'm like, bro, I've been trying to tell you guys for damn near 2 years now that it's got this leak and it only happens sometimes. And they're like, well, it's definitely blowing now. So we're getting that fixed, buddy. And I'm like, thank God, man.
Yeah.
Because and it's one of those things that it's audible enough when it does it that I would absolutely be shut down at a way station or on the side of the road somewhere. I mean, it is an unmistakable audible air leak that comes out of that damn flapper valve. And it's been since I got the truck. I mean, I noticed it the first week and tried to get it fixed, but couldn't ever get it to work. Couldn't ever get it to make sound when yeah, it was weird. Look, David Dunn said I put a hood on at the Denver terminal. That's funny.
Whippy McPope, man, with a million excuses. Aren't you supposed to be a certified mechanic to work on a commercial vehicle?
Nope.
And I have a witty retort for you, Wimpy. You're gonna love this, or you're gonna hate me forever. It sounds like you're making an excuse to not work on your truck.
Hey.
Oh.
Hey, look, if you don't want to work on the truck, don't work on the truck. By all means.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look,
I mean, there was a while there where I was making really great money, like insanely good money. You remember,
Right.
Charlie, back when solo guys were getting like 13,500 miles every single month, and you didn't have time to yourself because you were working all the time. And I was like, yeah, man, I just get paid guy to do it because I just don't want to do it myself. that's totally legitimate, man. But you could absolutely save yourself so much money by wrenching on your own truck. Just make sure that you know what you're doing, you know?
Oh, here's the answer. So, Ken went in yesterday and asked how far out they were booked on at the shop. Told me that they couldn't fit him in anytime soon. So he mentioned that he had the parts and tools and would do it himself. I'm gonna tell you, I think that's where he went wrong. Just be like, nope, thanks. I don't have time to wait. Go out and do what you need to do. He said, then, sorry, my sinus are going crazy. He said he was then informed that Swift frowns upon OOs doing work on their trucks internals. I have never, ever been told that. Look, if you're not dropping a motor in their yard, I mean, if it's something you can do in a couple of hours and you're not in anybody's way, I'm gonna keep doing it. I mean, hell, we did Jeff's airbags. Don't start about the video. Just stop. Just don't even go there, Jeff. I don't want to hear it because I don't know. That sounded really good. Anyhow, we did Jeff's airbags in the Phoenix terminal in the Bobtail parking area. I know Life on 18 Wheels did his shocks at the Ocala video or at the Ocala terminal and did a video while he was doing it right there. Look, changed out all his shocks and made a video on how to do it. And that's actually a good video, by the way. Hey,
We should promote that video. We should
yeah,
like put a link
Life
up
on
to
18
that.
Wheels. Give me a link to that. I'll put it up right here in the show. Put it in the chat. I'll put it on the screen. You put it up. I will link it. I'm just saying. Anyhow,
Because apparently we can film video, we just can't get it edited and out in a timely
my
manner.
God, bro, what did you really need to just?
It's true.
What were you saying? That's right. I got my phone button. You know, power trip. Watch out.
Well, to be fair,
Ken. Now you tell me. Yeah, bro. I got you. Look, man. Just sometimes it's easier to beg for forgiveness than ask for permission.
yep.
Sad but true.
Yeah, I mean, so to be fair though, video editing, I mean, Charlie's kind of into it, so he knows how to do it better than I do, but it's laborious, man. There's
a
a
lot of work.
lot that goes into it to get it to look okay.
And look, no joke. So the airbag video that we've been talking about was shot from 2 or 3 different cameras.
Cell phones.
Yeah, it's a lot. It really is a lot of work. And getting all those videos together in one place is just a thing. And so it's my bad. I look, I admit it. I just never got it done. Maybe I'll get it done at some point. I'm just not gonna stress it. I have the footage. It's just have that one honestly is like a lot of time
Yeah,
to work
but
on.
Life on 18 Wheels did a great video, so
He did, and that's why I mean, for the shock thing, Jeff was giving me a hard time because I was gonna do a shock video, and I was like, but Life on 18 Wheels did one for all the shocks on his truck, steers, drives, and the cab, and I'm like, it's a great video. So I'm not gonna reproduce that one. There's just no point in it. I did a shock video years back. It's on the channel. It's not great, but it tells you how to do it. Life on 18 Wheels did a good video. He did. I liked the video. CW. He said there's not much room to work safely on your truck at the Denver terminal. You are right. However, I'm going to tell you that you don't even need the room to do shocks. I mean, most of I can tell you that doing the front shocks, you're actually better off standing inside the wheel well because of the way that they are mounted and where they are. You pretty much got to stand inside the wheel well to do that work there. And worst case, you're standing next to your truck. It's not like it takes a lot of space. The drive shocks, same thing, man. You're working real close to the truck. You don't have parts and stuff laying all over the place. And if you're doing cab shocks, I mean, even still, you're working behind the cab of the truck in between everything. So I think it's fine. There is some work that I would not recommend doing at a small terminal that's super busy. But be smart about it. Find a space that's away from all of the traffic and nonsense, and make sure that you can get things done in a couple of hours. I mean, a lot of repairs that you do, take a cab airbag, right? The shop will charge you an hour labor to replace a bag at a TA. This I know. They want to charge me 2 hours of labor to replace both airbags on my tractor. I did a video on it. It took 7.5 minutes to replace one airbag. So 15 minutes total to replace both airbags on the cab. on my old Freightliner, but they were going to charge me 2 hours of labor. And wait, they were going to charge me for the parts for each of those airbags what I paid for the pair of airbags. Identical bag that they were going to get from, they were going to order it from the dealership to get them. I went to the dealership, got them for half the price they were going to charge me, did the work myself, shot a video, and while shooting the video only took 7.5 minutes. So I could have done it faster. Just saying. So yeah, and okay, so this is a fair statement. Mike Henderson said it's probably an insurance liability issue. It probably could be. However, think about it this way. You are a contractor, you have your own insurance. If you get hurt working on your truck, you are going to file your OCAC, and hopefully you're not on Swift's OCAC because you've got it through Seabright or someone else. I know IDA offers it, but they don't call it OCAC. I don't know what it is. But anyhow, you should be insured, and hopefully, and then guess what? Then there is no insurance liability because you were working on your truck. Yes, you did it on their property. And if you're a donkey and you're going to sue them because you hurt yourself on their property, shame on you, and you're a terrible person in my book. Throwing it out there. I don't care. Want to fight? I got a stick somewhere. I'll poke you. But yeah, so I mean, it's just a thing. Oh, let's see. Ken said, got all the shocks front and back, bought a new DeWalt Impact, which is awesome, by the way. Yeah, DeWalt makes a nice one. And need to replace 2 injector pass-through seals. I can do the work, so why not save a little money? Absolutely. If you know how to do it and you can do it, I say do it yourself. If you can't, then, I mean, look, there are things you should pay someone to do. Or wait, better yet, here's something Jeff and I both have done. Pay someone to teach you how to do it.
Right. You know, one of the first things, and you guys can scoff at me for the amount of money. It was a high school friend. So, and I was trying to help him out a little bit. So I probably overpaid, but when I got the pink slip for my truck, the 16, I went to my friend that's a diesel tech, has been since we were in high school. And I said, I'm going to give you $1,000 and you teach me everything I need to know about servicing my truck by myself.
Right.
And I spent a day and a half with him and we did a bunch of stuff. We changed belts. We changed the belt. Come on, Charlie, help me out.
Keep shaking your hand like that.
No.
Ha! Donna, I'm sorry. He made it happen. I apologize.
The belt tensioner. We
There
did a
you go.
service on the truck. We even switched out the pickup tubes for the oil pan. All sorts of stuff that he taught me how to do in that day and a half, 2 days. That was money I felt was well spent because I'm not a mechanic, but I was tired of paying those shop labor rates on stuff that I'm like, I should know how to do this.
Kenneth said, figured I'd do it at the Lancaster way in the back. There you go, man. No one's going to mess with you back there. And there's, good Lord, 12,000 acres of room out there in that concrete. I mean, come on.
Yeah, somebody posted his Swift drivers on the Facebook group.
CW said, sounds like you didn't teach him much, Jeff. Ken said, just didn't teach him the names. No, they taught him the names. Jeff can't remember the name of anyone or anything.
Right.
That's the problem.
Someone posted last week, Charlie, on the Swift Drivers Facebook page. Hey, what's my chances of finding parking at the Lancaster terminal?
Yeah.
And my response is, you'll absolutely find parking, but you may have to walk a mile to use the bathroom. Not kidding. Because that place is huge.
They need a electric tram that runs around that place with stations and stops around it. You know what I mean? That would be awesome.
Electric stuff.
There you go.
Electric trucks, cars, all that stuff. So that's been a hot topic here recently. A lot of our shorts got a lot of good responses, a lot of engagement from our discussion on electric vehicles. So a thing happened yesterday. I had to have a guy come and I had to sign some paperwork that needed to be notarized. And if you guys don't know, they will actually send a notary to your house nowadays. So you don't have to go anywhere.
Right.
I had a 5:00 appointment for him to come to the house and sign paperwork. And he calls me just after 5. He's like, so I'm in town, but I have an electric car,
Oh God.
and if I go into your neighborhood, I might not be able to get back out to the charging station. Um, if
Can-
it's all right with you, I'll be there at about 6 after I charge my car.
Nice. That is awesome.
And I told him, I said, dude, just so you know, I have a YouTube show, and I'm bringing this up, man, dude.
Right? Wimpy asks, is Chewy now lawn furniture? In a way, Chewy is
More of an
enjoying
ornament.
some. Yeah, Chewy's out there enjoying some time. She's hanging out with a BMW and a trailer that I have sitting out on the property. She's actually out on the property in my favorite place, sitting right next to the firing range. So she gets to watch us shoot all the time, and so I think she enjoys her spot right now. She's taking a little break and relaxing and just kind of stretching out. It's all good.
So Ken is showing my age. Not
Yep.
so much. This has been a problem for me. So to give you an idea, you remember when we had Wanda on the show?
You
And I've told Charlie this. He
remembered her
giggles every
name. Good
time.
job.
You know how I remember her name? I literally, in my mind, have to say a fish called
Fish
Wanda.
called. Yep. Yep. That's
That's how I
funny.
remember Wanda's name.
I love it. Oh Lord. Wimpy said, what about this outstanding February weather? Look, it's not February yet. 2 more days. Just saying. Look, don't rush it, all right, man. Look, at 52 years old, I'm telling you that these years are just clipping by. So don't rush it.
Wimpy is obviously not in the Northwest.
Wait. No, he was up in like Wyoming, bro. He was talking about 40 degrees up there.
Yeah, but the day before that, it was the roads were shut down for snow. And you remember, you were telling me this the other day, Charlie. You were once in Wyoming in like July.
The 4th of July one year. I can't remember what year. It was very early in my trucking. 4th of July snowed. I'm like, what? What? Oh my God. It wasn't sticking, mind you, but it was freaking coming down. Like, you're like, this a blizzard in July, bro?
Yep. It happens.
Something else. Kenneth said, I've got to come out there and shoot with y'all. Would absolutely love it. I agree. Look, it's usually Wednesday.
Last week people brought up, when are we getting together? I say we get together out by your place, Charlie, and we do some
I think it'd be fun.
therapy.
Pew therapy. I love it. I'm just saying it is absolutely zen for some people. Bro, I can't say nothing about age. I'll be 50 come this April. There you go, Ken. So you're with us, brother. Don't worry.
We were just talking about, some of the tech that we've got to do to make some of the things happen that we're doing. And it dawned on me after our meeting with Tony Dennis yesterday. Part of the problem is that we're all old.
Right.
Things don't work the same way they did in the 90s. Things are easier if you know how to do them.
Right.
That's the key.
I gotta ditch this hoodie real quick. My fabulous Contractors Corner hoodie. This thing, it's like soft and woolly inside, and it was a little chill. I was outside. It was a little breezy day. Like the temperature is like 70 something. So I know, whammy, right? But the wind was cold, so I put my hoodie on, and now I'm sweating. So I'll be right back.
Yeah. So while he's doing that, guys, the podcast that we're developing right now, one of the things that we'd like to do is have you guys, the actual drivers on that podcast, to discuss your businesses, what struggles you've had, and talk about how you overcame those struggles to be where you're at today. So if you're interested in that, hit us up on the Facebooks, or coming soon, we're working on a new website, and that'll have a better contact page on it than what we have now. But reach out to us if you're interested and you don't mind us digging into your business a little bit, and we can just have a really good discussion. Kind of the tagline for the podcast is real truckers talking real business. So we'd like to have you guys on. You're real truckers. Let's talk about your business, and you'll help. You have the opportunity to help a lot of people out that are either just starting, or maybe they're struggling like you did during your journey to success. gives some guys a little bit of hope that yeah, this thing's actually worth it.
For anybody that doesn't know, CW's 81 years old. Um, totally
Easy.
making that up. No, it just sounded funny.
What?
He's calling us all young pups. I love it. I appreciate it, sir. Look, my doctor tell you my body's 85, so whatever. Ken said, I'm not ashamed to admit it. Any tech questions? I have to ask my grandson. That's
Hey,
awesome.
that's legit.
Right. Hey, and Michael Fowler is talking about Dinner Summit. Okay, he meant Donner Summit. Chains in June. That's always fun. So yeah, I mean it's look, there's some weird stuff that goes on out there. Let's just be real. And yeah. So hey, if you guys got anything you want to talk about this specific, by all means, like always, throw it in the chat and we will do our best to dip into that. Anyone who's happens to be new or maybe, not usually active in the chat, if there's any of you guys here, hey, do us a favor, say hey, let us know you're here. How'd you find us? I think that'd be a neat thing to hear. Please let us know. I think that's cool. What did CW say? Mama said he looks like Santa Claus, but not 81. That's funny. I like it. You gotta love wives. They're so much fun. Try 55, bro, and just starting this Road Warrior operator thing. Yeah, look, I mean, Chris is a baby contractor at 55. Just saying. Smart dude. I mean, look, let's be real. Chris has been trucking like 20 years, I think, if I remember right. And yeah, I think that's cool. Michael Fowler, 59. Look at that. See, a bunch of old crusty bastards around here. I'm just saying.
Well, what was do you remember when we went to that expo and we went to the dinner, they were talking about what the average ages of the truckers are
Right.
out there. And our age group is still
Expedite Expo 23.
and people our age are starting to get out and the younger crowd is starting to take over. And it was really interesting because they were actually talking about how we communicate differently.
Right.
The difference is, they were really addressing dispatchers on this one, how to work with the younger people that are now starting to take over the industry, because we ain't the same. Not even close.
Chris said he'd love to share his story, Jeff, on how he got here. And dude, Chris is a good talker too. Like I like talking to Chris on the phone, man. We have some good conversations. He and I've been lucky enough to be able to have a couple of really good conversations with him through all of this. And yeah, I mean, it's been great. Wimpy, what do multiple drops pay as a lease operator? I can speak to what Swift is paying. The standard OTR drop rate is $35 a stop above your pickup and delivery.
Right. So your pickup doesn't pay, your delivery doesn't pay, everything in between pays.
Right. Unless you're on like doing a weird thing like
Walmart.
Target. And then Target does a weird thing, like one of the stops doesn't count. And I look, don't even get me started there. But that's $35. Walmart, on the other hand, pays like 20, I think it is. I'd have to look at the contract. I don't want to pull it up right now. So yeah, I'm just saying there are some contract specifics. Generally speaking, on the OTR contract, though, it's $35 a stop. So when I'm doing 5 stores in Atlanta, for instance, it's $35 for 4 of them. Yeah, I think that's right. I don't even know. Look, Target math is like VA math. It doesn't make sense to me, but okay. Matt said he's going to be 40 this year. Craig is 38. So yeah, I'm just saying. Wait, missed something big here. On the insurance truck appraisal thing with Seabright, let's say I'm insured for $65,000 and I owe $20,000. Does this mean if I total out, they will pay off truck and write me a check for $45,000? I have an answer here, but I want to be very specific how I say this. Okay. You owe 20. Gap coverage only covers, right, to the maximum stipulated loss value. And this is strictly for the Swift guys because we had to have a weird package built because of our stipulated loss values and everything else to cover the gap. which, mind you, I'm pretty sure we're the only ones that had to have this because there's an insurance company out there that doesn't provide gap insurance called OIDA, and somehow they got it. Don't even get me started there. I'm moving on. Um, deep breath. Whoosh. Yeah, right.
Mm.
So now, if you only owe $20,000 and the market value on your truck is $65,000, then yes, you will end up with a check cut to you for 45,000 and a check cut to your lease or financer for the $20,000. And you would pocket the rest and put that in, hopefully, towards your next truck, and start off on a really good foot, because that is equity that you absolutely built and earned. Now, I cannot say that that would work in the event your truck was totaled and you had our carrier's insurance. I
Right.
have never heard of them issuing a check to someone. I could be wrong. I have never had anyone say, I totaled my truck and they cut me a check for the excess. Have never heard that, not once. It's not to say it's not possible. I'm telling you that I have talked to an awful lot of people that have wrecked trucks, had their trucks paid off by that insurance, and never got a check. They're like,
Right.
hey, you ready to lease another truck? $2,500 down, and we can put you in it. Or, hey, we're gonna waive the down payment for you because you wrecked your truck and we're gonna do you a favor. And we're gonna start you in a brand new lease. It's the thing.
So you don't owe the $2,500, but they pocket the 40.
Right? Good deal. Woo! I won. Anyhow, it's a thing. Texanity. Look, Texanity. I like that. That's a great name, by the way. I might be the youngest one in here, 32. Hey, look, man, you're gonna be the guy we are gonna call clearly by that name. We need help, bro.
Hey, to give you an idea, I started this business when I was 33, 34.
Right.
So what I really hope, Texanity, is that you listen to us so that you don't make the mistakes that Charlie and I made.
Right.
Because at our age, I'll be 51 next month. If I had done everything right, which nobody ever does, let's be real. But if I had done everything right, I would be really close to retirement already. If I had made the mistakes that I've made.
Right.
So, listen to some of these guys. We've got guys in here, dude, that have been driving literally for 25, 30 years.
Yeah.
That Charlie and I, we've only been driving 18. So we're like, dude, what's your experience from before I was a trucker? That's the value of the community right there.
For real. Oh, wait. Life on 18 Wheels beat you there, Texanity. But hey, I've never seen that name, and I appreciate that you're here. So I want to acknowledge the fact that I've never seen your name before, and thank you for tuning in. I'm curious, how did you find us? How long you been watching? Because I'm pretty good with names. Jeff, terrible with names. Just gonna throw it out there. I'm usually pretty good with names. I've got this thing about remembering people's names.
So I had to write down
Right.
Brian Jess's name today.
There you go. Look,
To
he's got
remember.
notes. So yeah, by all means, do me a favor, Texanity, and tell me how you found us, and what's your story, bro? Appreciate that. Kenneth said he's very happy with Seabright.
Nice.
Chris Hamilton
Put
said he
something
did
in
have
there.
a second pickup this weekend, and it was $35 is what he was paid for that extra pickup.
And James Vaughn is helping you out here.
Yes, he's trying to
Get your Zen on.
Wahaguru. Wait, Waheguru. 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 I feel better. I like it.
Yep.
I like it. I feel like
That
I'm
actually brings up something, James. You and I need to talk sometime,
right.
like face to face, have dinner or something. Because we don't get into this too much on the show. We don't do politics or religion, but I have a specific religious philosophy that I follow. But I'm wondering if you guys could teach me a thing or two that
Right.
would get me further in my path. You know what I mean? I'm not beyond looking at other stuff, man. I've got my deal, but hey, if you've got something to teach, I'll listen.
So, okay, oh, this is weird, but we're going to have this conversation because why not? I have always been, since I was a child, I mean, literally 6 years old, have been researching religion in one way, shape, or another. I mean, I chose Mormonism as a child when no one in my family was a Mormon. And I was a member of the church. I was baptized at 8 years old. Isn't that the age, Jeff? Yeah, it's 8 years old. And I was baptized the whole 9 yards. I had family friends who were, members of the church. And later on in life, I decided that wasn't my path. And I mean, I've always been searching for something. I don't necessarily look. Full disclosure, I'm not big on the organized religion thing. Never have been. It's a weird thing for me. The structure. I don't know. I'm not a structure person, right? I'm a very spiritual person. And, maybe some people are going to be turned off by this. I don't believe in a God, nor do I disbelieve in a God. I'm saying that I don't know. I'm on my journey. I try to treat people well and try not to do people wrong and live my life by, some say the golden rule, right? I just think it's being human. So I don't necessarily follow one thing or another. I've been told that, with my leanings, there's this thing called humanist. Apparently it's a religious type. I don't know. Whatever.
Sorta.
It's a spiritual path, right? That I probably lean closer to that. I like a lot of Buddhist stuff. The whole Zen thing and just, I mean, all these other things. I just like to be peaceful, man. Lord help you though once you flip that button. You flip that button, bro, and I will snap in a minute. I'm just gonna throw it out there. It's fair. It's a real deal. Yeah. I mean, James, white male, sick.
Seek.
No, sick.
Sick.
He corrected me last week. It's not seek, sick.
Sick, right.
See, James, I remember things. Jeff does not. You remember that.
No.
I'm just saying. Oh, Life on 18 Wheels did the JW thing. Look, I lived at a JW house for 6 months. It was not pleasant for me. And they did not like me because I was a questioning child. I'm not cracking on anybody. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying they did not care for my brand of thought processes. And that's okay.
To be fair, though, I do remember things that I read. So, like when you're talking
Right.
about, so here's something, guys. Check this out. I got Charlie into Robert Kiyosaki's book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which I have not read since it came out in the 90s.
Right. And I started throwing stuff at him, and he's like, yeah, but what about this? I'm like, good God. The dude's got a trap for the stuff that he reads. That's my problem. I can't read and keep it. I need to hear it, and I can keep it most times. It's just
and that's one of the things too, though, about being an entrepreneur. You guys know that I read a lot. Right now, I'm really into reading books about habits and things like that because we've got this thing that we're trying to do, and it's requiring a lot of time. You guys don't even know. And so I've had to build some new habits around the Road Warrior entrepreneurs in order to get stuff out to you guys. So I've been revisiting a lot of the habit type stuff recently.
Right.
And those of you guys that are in the private network, in the subscription service, we just started our rebranding on that site. And we finally got our January course done and live. So go check that out.
I just want to say Jeff forgot to make it public last night. He put out this big post. Hey, the class is live. And I was like, Jeff, am I supposed to make this public button? And then he didn't answer me, and I went to bed, and I didn't see the answer till this morning. So that's when this morning is when it actually went live.
Yeah. Well, I was trying to do things when I shouldn't have been yesterday.
Funny.
Well, any of you guys, Charlie and I
want to call him. He had a migraine going.
Charlie and I both suffer from migraines. So if any of you out there suffer from that sort of malady, Things need to be done, so I'll just try and power through. But it comes to a point to where I really had no business on a computer by the time I was
Right.
done with
You
everything.
start making choices. They're like, was that? And it turned out to be a life choice. It's not fixable. I'm just saying. Oh, good
Luckily,
God.
this one was just a click of the button for Charlie this morning.
Yeah. So, Texanity, it's been with Swift for a month, Jeff. His OOC
Nice,
told him about us. He's a Marine Corps veteran. Hoorah.
awesome.
I mean, look, not everybody can be an Army paratrooper. So, I mean, good for you going to the Marine Corps. I
Or a Cab
appreciate
Scout.
that. Right? Well, whatever. I mean, you're still a leg. And I appreciate you, sir, because you know what? My other option, had I not gotten into the Airborne Corps in the Army, would have been the Marine Corps. Probably would have been a better move for me, to be honest. If I'm being completely honest, I probably would have done better in the Marine Corps. Just a thing. Anyhow, so he's a
You
Marine
like
veteran.
crayons, do you?
I do. I freaking love them. The purple ones are my favorite. I'm just saying that's like the greatest flavor ever. He's a Marine veteran and refused to work for other people, so I've dipped my toes into the OO with other companies 5 years ago. Hey, man, welcome.
Nice.
And hey, what term are you out of? Who's your OOC? You don't have to tell us, but I'm curious. I'd like to know who referred you because I'd like to maybe say thank you to them, and hopefully it's someone that I know. That would be cool.
I've got to throw this one up because
I'm
Charlie and
hoping
I-
it's someone I don't know.
Chris Hamilton says, I am an expert at making mistakes, but I learn from them. That's why I'm here, to learn. Dude, that is, I have so much appreciation for that. It's unreal. When you're as public about your mistakes as Charlie and I are, we do get a lot of guff, but we're like, hey man, of course we made mistakes. We're not gods,
Oh,
everybody
I am
makes
absolutely
mistakes.
fallible. I promise you.
Oh yeah. And again, I read a lot, and I go to trainings like you wouldn't believe. Charlie's like, you did what? You spent
Right.
how much on what? I'm
He
like,
does a
well,
lot of classes.
Tony Robbins, man, come on, But they always harp on the whole. It's not a failure if you learn something.
Right.
It's a
And
setback.
yeah, it's an education. Education is expensive. Sometimes it's money, sometimes it's time, sometimes it's blood because you put your finger in the wrong place. I can attest to that a lot of times.
Right.
That sounded weird, but yeah, you get the point.
Well, even with me and Charlie, like we both did something we told you guys we would never do in the last 2 years. We both got new trucks.
Right.
But
We
part of the
swore never.
conversation Charlie and I have had, it was him for a while, and then it switched to me when I had to do it. Okay, so what'd you learn? How are you going to change your business this time around? And I have absolutely taken Charlie's advice on a few things. I've changed my finances around a little bit, especially with that maintenance account thing, which I'm still getting used to, right? For those of you that don't know, for the longest time, I was doing 10 cents a mile into my maintenance account and then trying to save 10 cents a mile into my business savings account. And well, I am where I am. So I changed things a little bit. Charlie said, well, you idiot, why aren't you putting 20 cents a mile just in your maintenance account just
Right.
because it's harder to take out? Okay, well, I'm doing that this time. That's just one change that I've made based on what I've learned over the years.
Excuse me. I got this terrible cough. I apologize, guys. Hey, Michelle Fouts, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing better. And my heart's with you all the time. I just want you to know that. We're just going to leave it at that. We're not going to get into it, but my heart is with you constantly. And I think about you a lot. It's weird. Not in a weird way, but you know what I mean? Because life things. OTR Vic had a question earlier that I did not see until just now. What is the pay for Swift mentors as lease op? Hang on one. I want you to hold that thought because somebody down in our community answered that. And I'm going to throw it out there because I like it when community members are answering questions. It was Mike Henderson that said, OTR Vic, mentors just get all the miles of the truck. I average 4,500 miles a week and I get paid for all the miles, whether you drive or the student drives is what he's letting you know.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. Yeah, I mean, it's a thing. It's a path. And I say, whatever path you're on, by all means, do that thing.
Yeah. I can tell you that when I did, because I mentored for 13 years, you have to your heart has to be in it.
Right.
There's times where the money just isn't. It's kind of not worth it financially. But let me tell you, there's nothing better than taking a dude that's been unemployed for a year and taking him out on the road and teaching him this business so that he can feed his family. Nothing like it.
Right.
Um, you get to the point like I did, though. Eventually, some guys, I don't know. Some of these guys I talked to, Charlie, have been mentoring since the mentor program.
Right. Their
And,
mentor one.
right. And I just couldn't do that. I was starting to become crusty, a little
Yeah.
salty, you know.
I just didn't agree with the training program at the time that I stopped being a mentor for Swift. I had a problem with the old leadership, the Victor Malchevsky, who was number 2 in the program, and Scott Barker, who was, the senior VP of safety and training. We had a conversation on the yard in Phoenix one day.
Scott Barker, who left to spend more time with his family.
Right. That's like saying your pet was sent to a farm to live out its life. Anyhow,
I love when corporate does stuff like that.
I know. But we had a discussion on the Phoenix yard one day. I was actually training Rosie, my wife. For those of you who don't know, Rosie is my wife, and she's been on my truck for about 8 years now. She turned out to be my last student. She was not going to be. I was actually going to take a new student every 2 months and do one student and let Rosie take a month off, basically, and keep training, because I like teaching. I love to teach. I truly do enjoy it. But I did not agree with their system, and I made a decision based on that conversation at the time that I was done. And then I got into helping mentor and teaching contractors, trying to learn how to teach people to do better business, and building this community and things like that. And that all started 8 years ago for me. It's been a thing. It's been a long, drawn out thing, and it's grown into what it is today, and I dig it. It's fun.
Well, that's one of the things that Charlie and it's a common thing in our stories. When we stopped mentoring, there really was a hole in our lives, because we really do like teaching people. We might be a little amateurish about it. We're not the gurus that have a professional camera crew come in and film our videos. We do it all ourselves.
Right.
And so it looks a little like, well, a couple of hee-haws on YouTube, right? But
Hee-haw.
We do what we do, man.
Texanity's out of the Greer terminal. Angie Jackson is the OC. So I don't know. I know the name, but I don't know Angie Jackson. So
I think we met her when we were there, though.
Yeah, I think it was a very brief thing when we were dealing with Michelle and some other stuff. So thank you, Angie Jackson, for letting people know about us, and let her know what we said, Tech. I appreciate you, brother. We've had some more discussions about the spirituality thing. Wimpy McPoke, come on, man. We are the only beings in the universe, just happen to live in the third planet from the sun. We are just some strange accident. Look, I'm not saying I know, bro. I ain't trying to fight you. I'm saying I don't know, and maybe someday I will find out. And I'm cool with that. Right?
Well, Charlie, you and I have talked about this. I'm an intellectual at heart.
Right.
And as an intellectual, I have to admit, there is a possibility that I've been snowed. And Donna hates it when I bring this up, but intellectual honesty is a big thing for me. Sure, I could have been snowed, but here's the thing about people that are so anti those of us that do go to church.
Right.
Why does it make you angry that I want to be part of a group of people that makes me into a better person?
It baffles me, man. I can tell you and Jeff's heard me say this before, but I am a little jealous or envious. I want to say envious. I think envy is a slightly less harsh word, of people who have absolute faith in a set thing. I think it's great for them. And it's just not me. I think it's fabulous. I'm like, man, if that's your thing, do your thing. You're not hurting other people. You're not promoting to hurt other people. I got no qualms with that at all whatsoever. I am 100% good with that. Ken said he's a LDS in former life, baptized at 8.
So there is a lot of us out there.
Oh yeah, it's funny. It really is funny, and the LDS side is I've always found fascinating because so low key.
Mm-hmm.
I that's what drew me to it. It wasn't like a oh my god fire and brimstone. You
Yeah.
know, James Vaughn, born Catholic. You know, I mean, it's a thing. You know, it's just everybody's got their own path and their own journey. And I don't look. I'm not gonna slam anyone for their path, man. I mean, as long as you're on a genuine path, that's you. What are you gonna? What am I gonna say about it?
So there's another question here, sort of. James Vaughn, if you have a truck payment through IEL, you're going to get California permit, but you own truck, you won't get it. So for those of you that don't know what this is all
Oh, I
about, if
got
you
you.
don't run the West Coast, you probably don't. California's got a new thing where you've got to register your truck every year. Costs $30 to certify that you are a clean burning vehicle.
So crazy.
So it's just a new California thing. If you are still leased with
It's a money
IEL,
grab.
they actually pay for that and you just never hear about it. They just register your truck.
Right.
If you own your truck, if you have the pink slip, you're going to have to go out on their website and register it yourself and pay the $30. So on the Swift side, if you go to the owner portal, they actually have a link to that. It takes you right to their website. You can fill out the forms and do it. I can tell you that for me, Charlie, my 2016, when I get it road ready again, it's just not going to California. I'm done.
Right.
You know, I'm sorry, but all their silly little laws and their regulations and how everything costs more down there, I just, yeah, I'm kind of done. If Swift wants to pay me to go there and pay for that permit, okay. But if I got to pay, okay, $30 isn't going to break my wallet.
Right.
It's the principle of the thing.
It
Just
is
paying them
absolutely
one
principle.
more thing to do business in that doggone state.
Hey, Chris Hamilton is out of Greer. He has Angie Parrish. Just saying.
Mhm.
So yeah. Let's see. Yeah. Ken said it's been years, but he's still got his old blues in the back of his closet somewhere. Jeff and I were just talking about this last week. It's funny. I still have my original mentor shirts, which I never wore once. I didn't even try one on.
Yeah, I think when I moved from Oregon,
I
a lot of
refuse.
stuff got thrown out, but I think I still had some in the package. Never took them out of the wrapper.
And then we got Mike Henderson, 25 years of mentoring and not stopping anytime soon.
Hey,
Bless your heart,
if
sir.
that's your thing, man, it's needed. It's needed.
Absolutely.
You know, and we've come to know Mike over the last little while, and you know, here's the thing: there's a way to mentor, and there's a way not to mentor. And the mileage that he's reporting, that 4,500 miles, that seems pretty good to me. That means he's actually teaching these guys and not just using them for a
Right.
second logbook. Well, it worked
CW.
out for you, sort of.
Charlie used the training program as a dating app. That's great. Look, man, I've been with my wife since we were 16, bro. Don't just stop it. Anyhow, oh man. Let's see. There's been a bunch. Sorry. Thank you guys for just blowing up chat today. It's weird that we can't actually keep up with chat because usually we're pretty good at it. But you guys are blowing it up, and I dig it. Yeah, right. Oh, look, here's a shout out for an OC out of Edwardsville, Kansas. Ryan Shepard, Trucker Dan digs that dude.
Yeah, we need to rebuild that relationship with them because that's a pretty major hub.
CW says he's out of Greer as well and has Chris Chisholm. Shout
Heard
out,
that name
yo.
before too.
Texanity's asking a question. Back to reality, guys. Can you talk about fuel economy? I've had owners look at me surprised when I tell them I average 8.2 running 40,000 pound load, 7 miles per gallon compared to 8 miles per gallon can be the difference of approximately 200 a week. Look,
Absolutely.
yeah. So, how fast are you driving? That's a question I'm going to throw at you.
And
what's
what are you driving?
right? What kind of truck are you driving, and how fast are you driving? I'm not saying, you know, Tuesday you drove 70, Wednesday you drove 52. Uh, Give me an average. What's the speed you set your cruise on more times than not? How's that?
I could tell you what mine is. It's 60.
Right. I've been bouncing 60 to 62 lately. It's a weird time thing for us sometimes.
So you know my operation, Charlie. I run just over half heavy and half light,
Right.
right? And I live in Utah, so I do a lot of Rocky Mountains. And I was going to do that experiment and run the truck 70 for a while.
Yeah.
And I called Charlie. I said, dude, I can't afford to do this experiment. And here's to give you an idea. My 60-day average on the new truck, which I haven't had it for over that, so that's lifetime, 7.88, and that includes that couple of weeks of doing 70 and quite a bit of idle time because I was in the negative temperatures there for a while. But my 30-day, this is last 30 days. I slowed it back down to 60 like it's normal. Still have a little high idle because of the cold.
Right.
I'm at 8.27. I mean, Charlie got the phone call. He heard how pissed I was at the fuel mileage on the new truck. I'm like, gosh, dang it, But I slowed it back down, and bam, right away, decent fuel mileage. My best tank, and this is it's kind of a cheat because it was from Denver to Dallas, which is pretty much downhill the whole way.
Right.
And I only had 20,000 pounds in the box.
Gold.
9.74 miles per gallon. I was really trying to get 10, but I had to idle a little bit because I was working on some stuff that I needed to run the truck for the inverter, which if I had an APU, by the way, I wouldn't have had to do. Just saying.
So Texanity's in an 18 Freightliner, Jeff, and he said he stays at 58.
Nice.
So here's something you actually might want to try, and it's going to be odd coming from me. Get a 30-day average of 58, running all kinds of freight. I don't want to know how much you're getting on a 40,000-pound load. We can talk about these specific loads. That's fine. But get yourself a 30-day average with all kinds of freight, all kinds of terrain, all kinds of weather, right? Then try doing the same thing at 60 miles an hour with your truck.
Yep.
And get a base for that. Do another full 30 days. And then maybe try 62. Typically, we're not telling people to speed up. Most people we're telling to slow down. But you're working in that 58 range, and I dig it because Chewy, my 2007, I used to run a 57 all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a weird gear thing, but I had a 13-speed manual in that truck, so I could play with the gears a little bit easier than in these auto shifts or automated shift transmissions,
Mm-hmm.
right? So definitely get a good solid 30 days at what you're doing now, okay? And get back to us on that and let us chime in on that, if you would, because we need a good working average. There's some others that I want to touch on that are talking about fuel mileage.
Real quick though, so the Texanity, what we're looking for is we want to know where your truck likes to live.
Right.
On the Freightliners, it seems like 60, 62 seems to be where they like to live. And this is us looking at hundreds of trucks that are in the fleet. Kenworth seem to be geared a little differently, so a little bit faster to get it into that power band.
Right.
That was the thing that Charlie found on his 20. What do you have, a 23?
Yeah.
Right. So driving it like he drove Chewy, it was really bogging down on even the smallest hill. And he sped it up just a little bit to 60, 62, and he got better fuel mileage.
Yep.
So you got to learn where your specific truck likes to live.
You got to remember mechanical advantage in this physics equation.
I mean, we've seen some crazy trucks. We had a lady out of West Valley City one time.
Oh my God.
She couldn't get any fuel mileage under 68 miles an hour.
Right.
And we're like, how is that? We're like,
And
physics.
mind you, charge air cooler passed, overhead had been done, all the fuel filters, air filters were all done. She had done all the things that should have improved it if she slowed down. And then we found out she had this wonky, weird rear end gear ratio.
Yeah, it was the gear ratio was literally geared to do 70 miles an hour on flat ground.
Right. So I mean,
So-
it was odd. Ken said he's got a 2018 Freightliner with 40,000 plus. He averages 6.8 to 7.2, doing 68. Yes, he knows he needs to slow down. LOL. Tim Ransom is in a brand new 24, and we've actually been watching this develop in the private Facebook group for Swift contractors. Contractors Corner Consulting Group is a private group on the Facebooks. If it's also a public page, but if you look for the private group, it's strictly for verifiable Swift contractors, and it's a great place for us to talk and discuss and get into very contract specific type things sometimes, and sometimes it's just us crying about what Papa Swift did today. It happens. But anyhow, so Tim said my new 24 Freightliner getting 7.8 on a 40,000 plus load, doing 65, but his old 2020 Freightliner would get 8.5. Tim is in a brand new truck. There may be a break-in time needed with your truck. We've also, again, we've seen some strange gear ratios. You might want to see if you can find out what the gear ratio is. Look, I'm not the guy to bring your gear ratio to, because I can't remember those for what's good, what's bad.
However, if you are a customer of Pittsburgh Power, and all you need to be considered a customer is to be buying max mileage from them directly, and they'll consider you a customer. You can give them a call and go over what your gear ratio is. And what we've noticed is, you remember how the gear ratio used to be on the post sticker? We're finding that that's not the case anymore.
It's weird.
So the other thing that Bruce's people could do is that they'll ask you, okay, so what's your RPM at 60? And then they've got this chart, and they'll be able to tell you what your gear ratio is.
Right.
And by the way, I'll just put the plug in for them. We're not compensated for this, for those of you guys that are looking out for us on that one.
We'd like to be.
We'd like to be, of course, but
you
should be using max mileage anyway. And the least expensive way to get it is on the subscription program,
right,
through Pittsburgh Power themselves. Because I haven't looked at it like at the Iowa 80 lately. For a long time, that was the only place you could get it out on the road.
Right.
But there's more Petros now that have it. It's like $265 at the truck stop, and it's $230 on the website.
Shipped to your house, no shipping cost.
As long as you're subscribed.
Right.
If you don't hit the subscribe button, you get hit for that shipping, and it's hazmat. So yeah.
And the last time I did the math on max mileage, it was costing me 0.007 cents per mile in the cost for the max mileage product. So it really is minimal, and my truck doesn't do a ton of regions. Like the park regions I've done have been at Fleet Week in Phoenix, when I sit there and park idle for a week because it's hot, and it's stupid hot. And I run the truck the whole damn time. And so then, I was having park regions. But other than that, I don't have park regions. Michael Fowler said, out of Jonestown, Ani is OOC. I've heard, Ani is one of those people that I understand. You either really dig Ani or you don't, and that's cool. Not saying anything good or bad about Ani. I hear a lot of good things, and that's great. I'm glad Ani seems to care for her drivers, and that's a cool thing. Kenneth said out of Denver, Cindy is his OOC, and there's another shout out. Hey, I hope you guys are telling your OOCs about this channel. I'd love for them to come chime in and talk with us. I mean, I know they're limited on some of the things that they can say, because we don't want anybody to get in trouble over this kind of thing. I don't get it wrong. We're not here to get gotcha. That's not what we want to do. We just like to be able to have real conversations, and hell, I just like to say thank you to some of them for guiding people over to the channel and the community and things like that. So, I mean, it's cool. Mike said he refused to wear the mentor shirts. Call them with their. I call them. I'm with stupid shirts. Exactly. Wearing those shirts tells everyone that the guy I'm walking in with is a student. No one needs to know he's a student. I'm with you.
Absolutely.
There was an awful lot of guys that wore that blue shirt as some sort of drill sergeant's uniform, and I'm like, you're a donkey. I don't like you. And so I absolutely refused to wear them. And I used to get in these little arguments with my driver services person, and it was fun. Why don't you wear it? You have to wear it. Okay, tell you what. Here's your shirt. I'm done mentoring. Wait. Okay,
Yep.
don't wear this shirt. Keep mentoring. You're doing good. Because I turned out some good students. I mean, honestly, I truly dug doing what we were doing. I just didn't like the program at the time that I quit. It got better and changed a lot after I quit.
Mhm.
I don't agree with all of it still, but there are many more good parts of it now. And Jordan Bean, that dude right there, love that guy. He has really worked hard at getting that program to work much better. And
Yes, he
and I
has.
am 100% behind that dude. So shout out to Jordan for really helping to revamp that
The
program,
most beautiful man in trucking.
right? And the leadership above him and the staff below him that makes the whole program work. I mean, it took a lot of people to get that turned around, and it was just going in a really dark direction back in the day, and I didn't care for it, so I left. I had to stick by my guns. Oh, yeah. So, Chris, back to the fuel line thing. KW, 66 miles an hour, 240K loads from Alabama down Tennessee, 7.9. It's a thing. Might want to try it a little bit slower. Might help. Might help. But he's in that KW, so try 63. Try 63.
Yeah, especially not right now is a great time to run these experiments, guys, because the freight volumes themselves aren't the problem. We've had this discussion over and over again. Freight volumes are actually back to where they were in 2019. Problem is we have too many trucks on the road. And until more people go bankrupt, and I don't like to see people go bankrupt, but
Right.
let's just be real. That's going to be an issue. So the freight we're getting right now, there's no hurry on most of it.
Right.
Slow down. See how it affects your bottom line. Right now, I know the last time I talked to the powers that be, the average right now that owner-operator recruiters are using is 2,000 miles a week fleet-wide for OTR.
Right.
That is not great, but that being the case, maximize your profit per mile.
Right.
So it takes you an extra 20 minutes to get to the truck stop you wanted to that day. I mean, that's the time we're talking about here. Maybe an hour, but it's not like you have a stack that you need to drive 70 to make that stack.
Right.
I was just talking to Jerry White, who is one of the owner operator planners at Swift, and I was in Phoenix, and I was trying to figure out how to keep moving, and he was seeing loads, but he's like, yeah, but they're really, really harping on us about not stacking you guys right now.
Right.
They're going by PTA, which for those of you that don't know, it's projected time available, which is when we tell them, okay, this is when I should be available for my next load. And there's not a whole lot of stacking. I've been stacked a couple of times since the turn of the year, but it's pretty rare these days, at least in my operation.
So this week's fuel surcharge for you guys over at Swift Transportation is 0.428 on your loaded dispatched miles on the standard OTR dry van contract. The West Coast fuel surcharge on the same contract is 10 cents per loaded dispatch mile out of those Western states. If you don't know them, look at your contract. Come back and tell me what your contract told you. If you didn't know and you just found out, share that information because lots of people need to know that. Anyhow, I just realized I hadn't put that up at all during the whole show. That was cool. Texanity. Question for you. Have you looked at the ES Advantage fuel card yet? Have you thought about swapping over to Seabright Insurance or even another outside insurance carrier instead of using the Swift in-house brand of insurance? These are things that could honestly make or break your business and your run at this thing that you're trying to do, man. Uh, I can tell you that if you're on Swift's insurance right now and you were to switch over to Seabright, just on the physical damage part of the insurance, you'd probably save about $150, $200 a month. Just that change alone, all by itself. And you will have far better insurance coverage and service behind it. So it's a look, it's a thing, man. Yeah. There's been a lot of I apologize if we've skipped over some of your guys' questions. Like I can't keep up with it right now. It's like literally it's going by crazy. CW did say a neat, very important point. Don't believe the average on your dash. Do the math. I can tell you that my dash is within about 0.2 of a mile per gallon. Correct.
Yeah.
But I know this because I've been tracking it manually for 200,000 miles.
Right.
I know that it's damn near dead on. 0.2 one way or the other. So I have a pretty good idea what it's doing. Let's see. Texani said first 30 days had to take a week and change off. Ran 4,526 miles. Fuel surcharge 17.94. Fuel cost 23.62. Out of pocket 5.68. So that's 8 cents a mile fuel cost for me. Want it to be close to zero, and you can. Yeah. So definitely keep working on that, and you will be. Look, man. The more you pay attention, it's a funny thing. The more you pay attention to it, the better you will do. Typically.
Yeah,
You'll
it's
find
weird.
things that set you off. Sometimes you're like, "Oh, I'm not going to do that thing anymore," and it's just going to get better, man. So keep going on there. Let's see. Oh, he did say he is waiting on the ES Advantage fuel card. He wants to be a mentor, so he can't switch insurance. Well, that's fair, and that's a decision. And good on you for teaching our future breed of truck drivers. So, yeah, that's what I got to say about that. That's all I got to say about that. But yeah, like Tim said, get the ES fuel card. You will literally save hundreds a week, and which equates to thousands per year.
Yep.
I-
Yeah, the average we see for guys that actually use the card is about $150 a week. That's the average.
Right.
And that's on a solo operation. If you're running team, it's going to be a little more.
Ken was asking, what's the app that you and I use to track our fuel mileage? That's Let's Truck Gauges. There's a weird thing. I don't know if they fixed it yet, but a while back, if you didn't already have it on your phone, you tried to download it, and you had a current recent version of Android, it would say that your Android version is too new and we can't install it. But you can use the website version of it, and you can go to letstruck.com and do some navigating through their menu system, and you can find it there and track it that way. And then just open the browser on your phone and put it in that way. And you can't use the app, but it's an extra step, but it is a dead solid way to track.
Yep.
So I mean, it's worth the extra step, and it's only going to take a couple minutes. Hey, look, CW, straight up. I use pen and paper to track my miles per gallon. That is, yes. Can't go wrong. As long as you don't screw up the math, you're gold. So, Jeff, can you believe it? We're darn near up to that 2-hour mark already.
Wow.
I'm baffled by it. I'm like, dang it, man, we're grooving. We typically do have a hard out at 2 hours, just so you guys know. We try to wrap the show by 8 o'clock, and that's so that we can actually do other things that we do have to get done. I've got to work on that website tonight, get those other 2 trucks on there. We've got some podcast stuff we need to work on. May or may not happen tonight. We've been kind of busy and going at this stuff all day long today, literally. And Jeff's got a load in the morning, and I may have to hit him first thing in the morning. I got to go over
dude. So because I have a YouTube show, I got this load.
Oh my God.
That is a joke for those of you that it's sort of an inside joke. But so I've never gotten one of these before, Charlie. I'm doing a brand new trailer move from the manufacturer
That's awesome.
up to Kent, Washington. And so it's, 800 miles of empty trailer, loaded miles. What I can't figure out is how to do my loaded call, though. I'm probably going to have to call and ask them to do it because it's not even our company trailer. It's not a Swift trailer. It's a Ryder trailer.
I need a translation there. Life on 18 wheels. Try that one again.
Did you guys read the article about Swift's insurance? We did. And we had a knee-jerk reaction like everybody else.
Right.
But the bottom line for you Swift guys is nothing's changing for you if you have the Swift insurance.
Right. Except maybe the rate soon.
Except maybe the rate. They said it's not going up this year, but we've already seen that. We've done the math on some guys that we know that shared it with us, and it went from 6% to we by the math we did 6.4% or something like that.
Yeah, I've seen it 6.5, 6.6. It's a weird thing. I don't know. There's
So-
some weird math going on, but that's fine. Whatever, man. I mean, you're gonna do what you need to do for your business. If you're a mentor, well, unfortunately, you are stuck with their insurance right now
And their camera.
and their camera systems. One of the 4 approved cameras. I will recommend that you don't use the smart drive if you can get out of it. Tech Sanity, if you don't
Yeah.
already have it.
Try and go with the Samsara if you can.
What I've been seeing some people saying, Jeff, is that they're getting the Netrodynes put in the new trucks for
Oh,
contractors
okay.
are coming with them. So that's a cool thing.
That's a positive thing, I think.
Yeah.
So
And-
one of the things that we are working on is a deal with a camera company for our safety program that we're building. And I'm going to put it out there now so that we can get all of those annoying, you guys said no cameras.
Right.
You never said no camera.
Right.
You should absolutely have a camera in your truck to protect yourself.
That you control, not
That's right.
your customer.
So what we know about this camera system that we're looking at so far is that it is a full-blown AI. It'll coach you if you want it to coach you,
Right.
which we're all in favor of, man. Anything to make me a better driver, I'm in favor of that. But here's the thing. You are in control of that camera. There's no company going to be looking at your events. None of that. Unless and I'll just put it out there, unless you're dumb enough to tell them.
Right.
Right. Which there's always that guy that does that.
I've seen a couple.
But yeah, it's a camera system that's every bit as good as the Samsara or the Netrodyne as far as helping you be a better driver. But nobody knows about it but you. Right. And then if you do have an incident, you can give Seabright or whoever your insurance company is access to that footage to clear your name. So
Right.
you don't have to.
There to protect you and hopefully train you and make you a better, safer driver. Yeah. It's look, we get it. We do. But we absolutely do believe in cameras. We just don't believe in your customer controlling your camera and dictating and micromanaging you.
Right. Coaching, not coaching.
Right. Yeah. We saw how that went. Let's just be real. And look, I mean, to their credit, they legitimately went into it with that. But the problem became once they saw a thing happen, they're legally obligated to correct that action.
Right.
Because now they're liable for it. So I get it. And we just knew it was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we tried to get on board and we're like, okay, you say so. I don't think it's going to work like that, but okay.
So Timothy, also a heads up, the new trucks can detect you are speeding without a camera.
I don't know.
I'm just going to say this.
I can ask.
It's possible because like on my, even on mine, it sees speed limit signs and it'll tell me what the speed limit is on the dash.
Right.
My question though is, and unfortunately it's you, Timothy, that brought this up, but I'm just going to ask, why are you speeding? I mean, safe driving is safe driving.
Hopefully you're not. Maybe he's just making a general statement.
So, I get the concern. Absolutely. Because anytime the company, as it's stated in our contract.
Dumb man.
Anytime the company sees something like that, well, what if the system messed up, right? What if this? What if that? There is that concern, which is why we want to get away from the company controlled cameras.
Tech sanity. I haven't had an issue with the smart drive. I have a 0 safety score and safety hasn't called yet, but if there's a better one, I'm open to it. Look at the Netrodyne or the Samsara. They will cost you money out of your pocket to get either one of those swapped out for the smart drive. But I believe that the systems that those two cameras are using are far superior to what smart drive is. Smart drive is known for ruining certain people.
Right. You know, that with that smart drive, we've seen contracts canceled over smart drive events.
Yeah, Michael Fowler said Swift is actually actively switching to the Netrodyne, which would be great because even they have admitted that that smart drive is a nasty bugger.
Well, they get tired of the false events, is what it is. You know, every time there's an event on one of these cameras that the company controls,
Right,
a safety guy has to actually go in and watch that footage.
right,
And a lot of times it's like, why is this even in my inbox?
right.
This is clear that, you know, it's
Yeah. Hey, Bitcoin John said, can I save more money buying my max mileage in bulk, say 5 gallons at a time over the subscription? I don't know. You could definitely look on the Pittsburgh Power site or
I
give
think
them a
what
call.
you do if you're going to do that is figure out how long it would take, how long it takes you to get through a gallon, put it on subscription, and maybe get it twice a year.
Right. That'd be
Because I
nice.
know that I order mine, it's every 2 months I get it, and that seems to be fine for my operation.
Okay, Tim, little clarification. He wasn't speeding. He's just saying that he notices on the dash that it detects the speed signs. So here's the thing with that. So when we swapped from the Qualcomm into the Zonar system, I was told something and said, "Hey, man, do us a favor, don't put this out there." But we've been in the system long enough, and enough people know, I believe now, um, that the Zonar system doesn't report the speeds.
Right.
It doesn't track like the Qualcomm did. It's not reading those analytics or the it's not analytics is a different word. Anyhow, it's not reading the ECM stuff and sending that information in. It was something they were going to maybe look at later, but it wasn't. But let's be real, they haven't got the damn thing working right yet.
Right.
So why are they going to start dipping into other things? I mean, let's just be
Because
real.
it's
I don't think it's happening.
And what you're describing, Timothy, if you're in a Freightliner, I don't know much about the Kenworths because
Right.
I haven't driven one in so long. But on the Freightliner, it's part of that lane departure big thing in your windshield,
Yep.
and it's just reading the speed sign. And unless the Zonar is reading that off of the ECM, which apparently it's not,
Right.
Swift doesn't know. I find it a nice tool though, especially when you're running the US highways and maybe you
Right.
didn't see that speed sign. You look down, you're like, oh
It's a thing.
shoot, I
Yep.
should be doing 45.
Yep. And sometimes it'll read like a school speed limit sign and say that's the speed limit, even though we all know that it's
For like
not.
2 days. Yeah.
Yeah, oh my gosh, it's a thing. But I mean, look, it's a tool. It's there. I don't believe that it's ratting you out, so I'm just not worried about it. Look, there are times I'm going to admit, maybe rolling down a hill where my speed was possibly excessive
Mm-hmm.
for a slightly extended period of time. I'm not saying it's a smart move. I'm saying that I was driving safely at the time that I believed I was being safe, and I've never been contacted about it. And it's not because I have a damn YouTube channel. So just stop with that whole thought already, because someone will say it later. But whatever. It's
Oh,
got
if
nothing to do with
anything, our YouTube channel would hurt us on that.
right, because they're like, oh, we're gonna slam these guys because they'll talk about it and people know. Oh, stop doing this. Anyhow, let's not give them any ideas, Jeff. So you know what?
Yeah,
Hey,
this will be the one day that the vice president of the division is actually listening to the show.
hey, David Tillman, and okay, here's where I'm going blank.
Brett
Jules,
Stewart.
who is the actual Swift VP, safety VP. I can't think of her last name. Jules is her first name. She's a nice lady. I like her. She's fun. She's actually kind of a quirky little chick. I shouldn't call her a chick because that's apparently offensive. I apologize, Jules, if that offended you. Oh God, I'm in trouble one way or another.
It's a good thing we're at the 2-hour mark, I think.
Right? Nobody ever makes it here, except for you true hardcore replay warriors that I know are going to comment down to the bottom and say, "Hey, man, I made it to the very end." So we are 30 seconds from our 8 o'clock mark, Jeff. What are your last thoughts, bro?
Just keep the rubber side down, man. Be safe out there. Make sure that you're looking at every opportunity that comes across your path, and take some of those opportunities.
And with that, I'm going to say, you guys, take care of each other. Remember, there's no one out here looking after us but us. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay profitable, guys. That's what we're all about. We will see you here next week at 6 p.m. Tuesday Eastern time, like we do every week. Can't wait to see you then, and keep an